Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor. If you are new here, just make sure that you subscribe and follow. It would really mean a lot to me. I am a lifestyle vlog, day in the life, just whatever the heck I'm feeling YouTuber. I am also on TikTok, Instagram, wherever you want to find me. It shouldn't be too hard. It's just Taylor Brashear on pretty much everything. So today I wanted to do a little video of just books. I've been in my book era. I started TikTok forever ago when I was a big book girly. I wanted to start like book talk and all that stuff. And that was about probably, 4 years ago now, which is crazy. So now that I'm on YouTube and I can literally film whatever I want, I'm so excited to be doing this video. So I'm going to be doing just a big book haul, what I've read, last year's books, 2024 roundup, and we're just gonna get into the nitty gritty of it. All right, so I have my Goodreads on my phone pulled up. I deleted Goodreads off my phone forever ago, but it's still linked to my Amazon, which is really nice because I am a Kindle girly. I read on a Kindle. I switched to a Kindle probably about 2 years ago. I just got this one. I have had the Kindle Paperwhite. Gave it away just because I wasn't like obsessed with it, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna get a bigger one. Got the Kindle Scribe, just got rid of that because I didn't like how big it is, go figure. Tried reading on my iPad, but it was even bigger than the Kindle Scribe. So now we're back to the tiny little original Kindle. This is the new generation that just came out. I have mine decorated. Just has some faith stickers on the back of it, and this thing is my best friend in the world. So I'm a Kindle reader, which is really nice because your Amazon links up to it and you can pick up your books on your phone, on your Kindle app, obviously your Kindle, my iPad. So it's nice to just have access to books wherever I go because I'm a speed reader. I read quite a bit. I read every single day. It is just like my happy time, my peace, my serenity. So it's a really big part of my life, and that's why I'm excited to do this little book haul today. But anyway, so back to that, I have my 2024 list pulled up. We're gonna go in order what I read in 2024, and I'm going to give you guys just like a little rundown of what I was thinking. So we are starting off with a banger in 2024. My first book I started on 1/16 and I finished it 12 days later. That was the Fourth Wing, the Empyrean #1 book. So Fourth Wing is what I read. There's that right there. I gave this a 5-star review. No dur. So the new one is actually out, the third Fourth Wing series book. I am finishing Onyx Storm. No, I'm finishing Iron Flame right now on audiobooks. I have already read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame like on my Kindle, but I read them on audiobooks as well to get ready for the new book that just came out. So the third one is out, Onyx Storm. I'm gonna start that on Monday, and I'm so dang excited. So the next one I read was Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, also a banger. I am praying that they make this into a movie. Let's hope it doesn't go as poorly as it ends with us. That's not going to good for everybody is what I'm getting, but I gave this one a 5-star rating as well. I also read this 2 times. I like that Goodreads tells you how many times you've read it, so I loved that one. I just thought the story, whether you are a Colleen Hoover hater or not, Colleen Hoover's books are so easy to read. They're cozy, they're comfy, and they just suck you in. A lot of people don't like them, but to me, if I just want a simple just read that I know is going to be good, I will always pick up a Colleen Hoover book. Next, I read Beach Read by Emily Henry. Emily Henry is my favorite author of all times. I love every single one of her books. I think, no, which one is it? To All the People That I've Met on Vacation, I think that's what it's called. They're making that into a movie currently, which I, of course, will be there on opening weekend for that. I am so excited. So I have read Beach Read twice as well in 2024, so I absolutely loved that one. Then I went into The Deal by Elle Kennedy. So this is an off-campus series. So this is what the title looks like. I rated this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I did really like this one. I just rated it 4.5 stars because it wasn't like sucking me in as much as the other books. I'm a romance girly. I love romance. I just recently got into more fantasy style books. ACOTAR is, let me just tell you, ACOTAR is my pride and joy, my #1 book series in all of life that I've ever freaking read. It is the most amazing thing. I have read that series probably 6 or 7 times, no joke, from audiobook to reading it like paperback style. I'm obsessed. I have an ACOTAR tattoo on my arm. It is literally just my favorite series in the world, so that's a really good one to get into if you're wanting to get into fantasy. I read ACOTAR in 2022. Yeah, it's literally on here. So I read that in 2022, so I'm not like including it on my 2024 recap, but I of course need to mention it if I'm going to be talking about books. So then I just went straight through. So after I finished The Deal Off-Campus book number 1, I went into The Mistake, which is the off-campus book number 2. I rated that one 4 stars out of 5. Again, it was okay. Wasn't my favorite thing in the world. Elle Kennedy's writing it's good. It's obviously I read the second one, so it's not like it's anything crazy. So then I decided, I guess, to just be absolutely crazy pants and go into book number 3 of the Off-Campus series. So then I read The Score. I loved all the characters. Each book has a different like character couple that they focus on. I liked them all. Again, it just wasn't like one of those book series that I was dying to read the next book. I was kind of just reading them to read because I enjoyed them, but I wasn't like thinking about, you know, how excited I was to get into bed every night and read that book. So I read number 1, 2, and 3 all in the month of, what is 4? January, February, March, April. April. I read all 3 of those books in April. And then in April, again, was a big reader in April, I read Funny Story by Emily Henry, and this had just come out in April. I do remember this. I was waiting for this book to come out. I was so excited, and let me see how fast I read this one. I read that one in 5 days, Funny Story by Emily Henry. So that one was 5 out of 5 stars. Guys, in my mind, Emily Henry she just can't do any wrong. I'm so sorry, but that I read at the end of April, and then now we're into May of 2024. So this was my first Abby Jimenez. I think that's how you say that. Abby Jimenez. Yeah, this was my first book I'd ever read of her. This was a big book talk book. That's what that looks like. I rated this one a 4.5 out of 5. Her writing is very specific. Like if I were to ever read any of her books, I think I would be able to pick up that it's her writing on them. She's very like slow-paced, calm, relaxed. Like you're almost just kind of like reading this just like Hallmarky kind of story. The characters were so good in it. It was a great book. I really, really did enjoy it. I just rated it 4 out of 5 just because, again, it wasn't one of those books where I was diving into bed at the end of the day, like trying to pull through it. It was kind of a situation where I had to be like, I'm so disciplined at night into reading. I know that I read before bed every single night, so it was kind of just one of those things where I'm like, okay, pick the book back up and like keep reading. And then when I was done with it, I was kind of like, okay, that was good. Then I just set it down, didn't think about it really much again. So then I went into another book talk book that I got off of TikTok. This was The Flawless, a Chestnut Springs novel by Elsie Silver. I rated this one a 4 out of 5 stars as well. This one was good. It's like a cowboy country romance type of thing. She does a couple books. I think I do want to read some more of her books, maybe after I'm finished with Onyx Storm. I'm not 100% what I want to do after that. But to me, I only rated that 3 out of 5 stars. Again, it wasn't like absolutely phenomenal, but I feel like I read so much, sometimes I'm a little harsh on books. So just because I say it's a 3 out of 5 doesn't mean it's a bad book. It's just not one I'm going to read again, if that makes sense. So that was into May as well, and actually into June. So I only read 2 books in May. So now we're into June. So then I started just popping the heck off on the Bridgerton series. So I read this is all in June. I read books 1 through 4 of the Bridgerton series. So these are all by Julia Quinn. You guys have seen the show. You guys know what I'm talking about. So the first one, The Duke and I rated a 4 out of 5 stars. The Viscount Who Loved Me, number 2, I rated 4 out of 5 stars. And An Offer from a Gentleman, which is the number 3 book, I rated 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, and I gave that one a 5 out of 5 stars, which is funny because I did not like the newest season of Bridgerton, which was Colin and Penn's love story. I didn't love the actual season of like the show on Netflix, but I actually really enjoyed the book. It was a lot better than the show in my opinion. So I read all of those in June. I guess I was just, I don't even know. I guess I was just going absolutely crazy. So then I took a break. I didn't read any books in July, and then I picked it back up in August. So the first book that I read in August was The Serpent and the Wings of the Night by Carissa Broadbent. So that's what that looks like. I rated this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. This was good. I was wanting to get into a fantasy series again. I had finished ACOTAR, obviously, and I think I did a reread in 2023, and then at the beginning of 2024, I think I did an ACOTAR reread. So then I went, obviously, into all of those romance books, just because I needed a break, and then after Fourth Wing as well, I was kind of like, okay, what should I read? I don't really know. So this was like my first attempt to get back into fantasy. I rated that book a 3 out of 5 stars. Would I read that book again or finish the series? I don't think so. It was okay, it just wasn't my vibe of fantasy. I'm very picky about fantasy books. I'm not like super into it yet, so that's kind of what I started with that. It was an okay read. It's about vampires, but again, not one of my favorites. So then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna read any more fantasy books. What should I do? So then I went into Mrs. Nash's Ashes. This was another TikTok find. Everyone told me to read this book because it was phenomenal, and I could definitely see them making this into like a little Netflix flick or something like that. So I rated this one a 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. Again, I wasn't diving into bed at the end of the day to read it. Kind of slow, kind of predictable, and I love predictable. I love romance books. If you like romance books, you like predictable because they're all the same. But it was almost too slow to like be enjoyable, and I just felt like I love when there's a little bit of tension or like enemies to lovers or something like that. I almost can't stand a book when it's just so happy that it's like main character meets other main character, they're in love, la 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 la, nothing bad ever happens. They might have one argument and then that's the end of the book. I don't really care for those too much. So I rated that a 3 out of 5, and that was in August as well. And then that was all I read in August. So I only read 2 books in August of 2024. Then we move into September of 2024. I went into How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kuang. Probably said that wrong, and I'm very sorry. This one was okay as well. I rated this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Again, it's a romance book. I got it off of BookTok. Anytime I just need like a palate cleanser, I'll just look. BookTok books holds your attention. Romance, BookTok, anything like that. That's why TikTok's there, guys, you know? So I really am not even going to talk about that book because it was okay, not my favorite. So then I decided to go into another Abby Jimenez book. So this was again in September as well. So I read The Friend Zone. This one was good as well. I rated this a 4 out of 5. Not my favorite thing in the whole entire world. Again, her reading is almost like you're sitting on the beach. You got all the time in the world from morning to night for 7 days straight on your beach vacation. You just have time to read. That's how I would describe like an Abby Jimenez book. So again, not my favorite thing in the whole entire world, but. And then we are now going to go into what I am currently reading and have been reading since the end of 2024. So I took a big break from, looks like September. I finished The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez in, looks like October, so I took a big break on that. And then in October, I picked up this series that I am still currently reading, which it is January of 2025 right now. So I started from Blood and Ash. It's the Blood and Ash series by Jennifer Armentrout. So let me pull up the little picture for you guys. That's the worst quality in the whole entire world. There we go. So I started this series. I randomly found this on TikTok as well, and I will say I'm currently still reading this series. I feel like no one talks about this series. I have been telling all of my friends about this series that are like book readers that have been reading like Sarah J. Maas books, you know, anything Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, Crescent City. I haven't read Crescent City yet. So just kind of anything fantasy. So I've been telling everyone about this because this has gotten me back into fantasy and I love this series. I'm only 4 books in. The books are really thick, which is nice. I love just a big, juicy fantasy book that you could just read and read and read and read and read and you feel like you're never gonna finish it. Those are the best. So I started this in October and finished it in November. Then I started the number 2 of that series of Blood and Ash. So that was in November and it took me till December to finish that one because that was a pretty big one. So that's what number 2 looks like. And then my number 3 is not on here. I don't know why. I might not have done my Goodreads like update on it, but I'm currently on, I finished the 3rd one and now I am on the 4th Blood and Ash series, which let me look it up really quick for you guys. Blood and Ash. series order. Okay, so I have read Blood and Ash, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, The Crown of Gilded Bones, and I am now on The War of Two Queens. And I'm pretty sure there's like 11 books in this series, so I'm really excited to keep going on it. It, again, has gotten me back into reading. I am absolutely in love with the series, and it's just, they all have been 5 out of 5 reads for me so far. I'm obsessed with Cass and Poppy's story, and one of my friends is like way farther than me in this series, and she says there's a new couple that's going to come in, and it's going to be like kind of about them, so I'm really excited about that. And then for some reason, Goodreads did not record my Iron Flame read, which is the second book of the Fourth Wing series. Iron Flame, to me personally, I think I gave that a 4 out of 5 stars for reading it. I'm currently finishing the audiobook of it, and I am obsessed with it. The audiobook, I listen to the graphic audios. If you've never listened to the graphic audios, I would highly, highly recommend. They're so freaking good, and that has really gotten me back into it. So that is kind of my rundown of 2024 books. This year, my goal would be to finish 2 to 3 books a month would be really, really nice. So that's just kind of like a little general chat of just books that I've read last year, and I literally am obsessed with books, guys. I love my Kindle, but I will go to bookstores all the time and just look at the books and just kind of like make a little list on my phone, and I'll read them on my Kindle and download them. But I just absolutely, reading has been something that I've loved since 6th grade. The first book I ever like read that really got me into reading was actually Harry Potter. I've read the Harry Potter series probably 2 times front to back, and then I've read a few of the later books like 5, 6, and 7. I think I've read those maybe like 3 or 4 times just because I enjoyed those ones so much. And then of course Twilight. I read Twilight when I was in 6th grade as well, and I vividly remember just like absolutely loving those books, and just getting to escape to another world is something that is so underrated. Reading just takes away my anxiety. It's so calming. I love getting cozy in my bed with like a little heated blanket. I turned on my Hatch alarm clock, the little red light feature with the white noise sound. And I read the night away. I try to read from like 7 to 10 every night. It changes. We're foster parents, so sometimes we have babies, sometimes we don't. So it changes obviously depending on if we have kiddos in our home or not, but it's just something that calms me so much. And I just love talking about books, so I'll definitely do another recap, and obviously watch all my vlogs because I'll keep you guys updated as like real time as I'm reading my books, so that way you guys can kind of keep up. But thank you guys so much again for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. I love ya.